I mean, these are certainly cool looking. You gotta lift, bro. You gotta lift in order to use Doom weapons.
Doom guy
This
lifts.
is made out of some type of like ridiculously lightweight alloy.
Look at that magazine.
Look
Look
at
at
Jesus,
that.
what are we shooting, man? There's enough going on here that like I believe it and I don't care.
I love it.
You
I
know,
love
like
it.
Jesus.
Where we're going, we're just getting bigger and bigger as we
Right.
go. Welcome everyone to another episode of Total Recoil, where we review weapons from your favorite video games. I'm Israel Wright, former Green Beret, and with me as always is Paul.
How we doing, folks? I'm a former infantryman. I teach weapons and tactics both in the film industry and outside of the film industry, and it's always a pleasure to be here.
And today we're looking at Doom Eternal.
So this thing looks cool, a little bit like the new Smith & Wesson shotgun that just came out.
Really heavy duty buttstock there, really
Yeah.
chunky buttstock.
It almost looks like a bullpup in a way. There's a lot going on back there, and I wonder if this is just to absorb recoil or what, because this is a pump gun, right?
Yeah.
It looks like a pump forehand. I wonder if, like, you know, this is holding a special charge to electrify or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, oh goodness.
Oh, we're in Romania. He's shooting Romanian.
So a shotgun is a devastating weapon up close. You know, you can use slugs to reach out and touch someone, but I'm a fan of using a shotgun. Like, my favorite's the Benelli M4, but I have several Remington 870s. I have a couple Winchesters and, ooh, sticky bombs. Okay,
Looks
look at
like-
this. Look at this is really interesting.
back
The
that-
shells coming out the back. So these must be like explosive or HE rounds. Ooh, oh, that was fun. In real life, I wouldn't want to shoot an explosive inside someone that's still mobile so they could run towards me and then explode.
In real life, I would use both hands to rip out the eye of the beholder instead of just one. Probably gonna need gloves because it doesn't seem very
And
sanitary.
then you use them to see. You
Yeah,
just turn it
yeah, and you turn it around.
So I have fired a couple full auto shotguns before. They're fun.
This one, it looks like we've got like a rotating barrel.
Okay, so kind of like a Gatling style.
Yeah, I love it, just chunky, just blood and guts and gore.
I love this, and this is probably the most realistic I'm guessing we're gonna come across, while at the same time being not realistic at all. What I love about it is a lot of double-barrel shotguns, especially ironically, ones made in England are beautiful, and they have engraving in it and just beautiful wood grain. And why this is cool for the game is you can reach out, grab someone, and then bring them right up to the
yeah.
barrels, and then
Great.
just you have ultimate devastation, right? Where you wouldn't want to use this in real life is we teach, and when I teach defensive shooting, get the heck away from the threat.
wanna
Like
create
move
distance.
back, yeah. That's why, like, when you draw, you want to be able to shoot from here to here and pushing out. You want to create distance from the threat. This is doing the opposite of that, but it's badass and it
it's
works
awesome.
really well in the game, so we're gonna forgive it.
I like where we're going. We're just getting bigger and bigger as
Right?
we go.
I think that big old muzzle device on
Looks
front.
like they got a belt-fed ammo from
Yeah,
the
but where's it
buttstock.
going? So
Yeah.
this, everything looks realistic until it stops right there. Like, what's going on here? Do you connect something to like a backpack with, is this a belt fed? You know what I mean? I mean, it'd have to be. I can't imagine a spring working like that. It is reciprocating. Again, forgive me. I always try to like find a way to make this real. Like, what is the point of this? And maybe it's helping to absorb some of the recoil. Maybe that's part of it. The whole system moves the chamber another round.
Oh, it looks like maybe more of a marksman because we got a scope on top. See a little sight there.
Now I wonder if this optic like auto adjusts, if there's maybe a rangefinder on it, because they are coming out with those. There's no fancy reticle in here. There's no like rangefinder. There's no way to like compensate. So it must be like internally adjusted.
Looks like the heavy cannon's got a bit of a modular aspect to it, you know, because you got the precision. Now you got micro missiles.
When I think of chain gun, I think of an Apache. And actually, I think of one of the original PlayStation and one of the original Sega Genesis games, where you had an Apache flying around with a
Yeah.
chain gun. And the reason it's called a chain gun is they use a chain on the gun to direct it. It's not because it's a belt-fed gun.
Not because
It
it's
is
a Gatling gun.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I believe, I mean, go nuts in the comment section and give me crap, but I believe it's because the chain is attached to it that drives it and puts it in the direction it's going.
Oh, we're gonna find out.
Yeah, I hope so.
I love it. It's so
They
beautiful.
do look like Nerf darts.
They do look like Nerf darts, yep.
Okay, so look at this thing, man. We got
It's like-
multiple barrels. Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm talking about. This is a Doom
Holy
Eternal
moly.
weapon.
And this is like, you know, a great Doom weapon.
Double
And
fed from both sides.
there's enough going on here that like I believe it and I don't care.
I love it.
You
I
know,
love
like
it.
Jesus.
So much devastation.
There's some times where it's okay if it doesn't make a lot of sense if it looks cool.
Yeah.
And especially, you know, they're establishing the rules. I love the shells, how they're coming out and they change direction. It gets hot. Oh, you gotta,
The barrel,
calm
you can
down.
see, yeah, it's heating up at the tips. I love that.
Which I've definitely gotten some barrels bright orange before. I don't know. I haven't warped a barrel, but I've definitely seen a couple.
I remember a couple times during
Occurrences.
training, laying down a lot of rounds, and you see that at night, especially, you see that
Oh
glowing
yeah.
barrel.
Or you can really see it through your knots, through your night vision. You can definitely, you know, it stands out quite a bit more. Look at that.
It almost looks like he might have it like in front of him, like mounted like both hands. You know what I mean?
James Cameron took a Steadicam mount and put it on those heavy machine guns. So there's a couple different type of Steadicams when you're making movies, and one of them has this like swing arm, and companies are now trying to use it to run crew serve weapons.
Ah.
But there's also this thing called the Scorpion, which let me know if my camera guys know what I'm talking about, where it's like you have this hook overhand in this, and you can also use that. Tactical companies are now using that to carry shields and to carry weapons. So like, you know, this is in the future in hell, but that's feasible to have like a walkable, movable turret now with how advanced we're getting with exoskeletons. And it's so crazy because a lot of filmmaking equipment is modeled after military gear. Like a lot of people don't realize veterans helped build Hollywood back in the day. Like a lot of the camera designs were designed after gun turrets and the Fisher dolly and then the Chapman dolly. Those were designed after the things that load bombs onto aircraft, right? And so it's funny that now you have filmmaking equipment that's being adapted by the military to run heavy machine guns,
It all comes full circle.
right?
Yeah, look at that big boy.
You know, if we can harness that technology, that amount of energy, like that's going to be a thing. And you think about like how warfare is advancing now, and we're going more into drones and more like back in the day, World War II, 80% of the military is what we did, combat arms, and now it's less than 20%.
Okay.
Partially because the soldier's so much more effective because of technology, but requires way more support to support that individual fighting soldier. And pretty soon we're going to have mech suits, and we're already, you know, the military is already testing out exoskeletons, and then just watch any of those, make sure they're real, because there's a lot of fake ones, but those real Boston Dynamics videos, like goodness gracious, like I'm not going to want to shoot that with a normal rifle if it's trying to kill me. I'm going to want a plasma rifle or one of these like static electricity or some type of energy weapons to neutralize that thing.
Love the energy dispersion.
And you know the front part's moving back and forth a little bit. My brain's always trying to figure out how does this thing work.
Yeah, you can see the inside, the blue, kind of more towards the trigger area. There's a rotating thing, action going on when you
see
fire.
the hoses going into the, I don't know, the heat shield of the weapon. I mean, these are certainly cool looking. You gotta lift, bro. You gotta lift in order to use Doom weapons.
Doom guy
This
lifts.
is made out of some type of like ridiculously lightweight alloy.
Look at that magazine. Look at
Jesus, what are we shooting in there? Or is that just a battery pack? You know, is this like a Star Wars? Jeepers! All right.
Yes.
You don't want to wear a mask for this.
Look, you gotta.
Demon blood in your mouth.
That's right.
I'm
You
sure
don't
it's
want-
delicious.
Very
but-
unsanitary. Oh, he's just looking for directions.
This is
Oh.
walking right up. But yeah, you can make a directed energy weapon out of a microwave. Now, is it feasible or practical? Not yet, but maybe you can figure it out. Maybe you'll be the one to figure out how to do it.
I know that we were experimenting with rail guns. I know the Navy has a giant rail gun. So this kind of stuff, this kind of Wazoo, DARPA
yeah, it
kind of
definitely
stuff.
exists. And the issue right now with railguns, and you can build a railgun in your own home, it's just the amount of energy you need. And you need capacitors, not just batteries, to store all that electricity. The amount of energy you need to make it effective, we're just not there yet. That I know of. Like the Navy has a giant railgun, and I'm forgetting right now how many kilowatts of power it needs, but it's a lot. It's not enough to like really be feasible or fieldable right now. And the other issue is that the railgun tears itself apart. The more they shoot it, it just starts to disintegrate. But there's definitely a future there.
Ah, a constant beam. I love that.
Okay. So this is cool. So the ballista is a real weapon. It's a real devastating weapon. It was basically like a giant crossbow that would launch these huge, huge bolts. And you could mount it on castle walls, or you could use it as a siege weapon to take a castle or to take a fortified position. And they were pretty devastating. And so this looks like it's based off of that. I think that's a good name. You have like, you can see there's like cables running in there. And, you know, I'm a big old school Star Wars fan, a big expanded universe fan. Now they call it Legends, which is kind of a slap in the face, but whatever, I'll turn the other cheek because I enjoy it so much. This harkens to like the Wookiee bowcaster, which, you know, in the old school Star Wars lore, in order to run a bowcast, you had to be incredibly strong. You had to be
almost like a badge of honor.
Right, and so since Doom Guy doesn't need butt stocks on his incredibly just like one arms, it makes sense that he'd be able to run the ballista. The naming is accurate for this. It looks like it's holding up to its lineage. This is cool. All right.
Looks
the
like
pistol
the
grip
wings
is
are a little
really
wider.
Interesting on that.
Oh, that's nice.
Neat. All right, that's pretty cool. So it creates the round.
Yeah, look at the charge up, baby.
What was that? It like opens up. It's okay. Let's see what it does.
Pulls back, charges and racks.
Boom.
love
Okay.
that.
This is definitely not a hostage negotiation. This is definitely not a.
We're going for maximum devastation and
whoa.
dismemberment.
Just cut that dude in half. All right, that works. This already looks like something that fits right in place with.
Yeah, it almost like it loads the fireball in front
This
and then
reminds me
fires
of
it
a freight
off.
train, like a coal-powered freight train, and you open up that furnace. So it's like you said, yeah, it's just setting up nasty fireball in there, and then it shuts it off, and then something propels it forward. I'll buy this.
Yeah, here we go, the BFG 9000.
Classic, the classic, the best, finest gun. What's fascinating though is I wonder if the buttstock extends, because otherwise you're holding it like this.
I can see it makes Doom Guy seem less threatening when he's like when you imagine him standing like this. All practicality thrown out the window. This is just a work of art. It almost looks like a loading dock for a spaceship.
Yeah. It's very sci-fi. It looks like where you would repair your starship.
Right.
Which I'm sure that's what our viewers want to hear right now. No, tell me how the weapon works.
Tell me how the weapon works.
Okay, so we got spread. Remember
shot.
Contra?
Yeah,
Contra,
the
Super
spread
Contra.
gun.
Actually, you know, I accomplished a lot of crazy hardcore in the military. And by a lot, I mean for a National Guardsman. But one of the most impressive feats is when my buddy Lampy told everybody, I just watched him complete Contra with one life.
Your proudest.
Yeah, that was like
military
apparently
involvement.
impressed the most people, and not, you know, finishing Ranger School with a broken ankle, beating Nintendo Contra with one life.
I love the little glowing kind of energy ring right there on top of the gun, you know?
Look
There's
at
a little bit of
that's what I
reciprocating,
like
a little
right
bit of
there.
motion
All
there.
that electricity going back and forth,
Yeah.
arcing as it fires. I thought that was a really cool touch. Generally with swords, you have a couple different ways. You have slashing, you have chopping, and you have stabbing. This is not a stabbing weapon. You can see not a solid point. Now, I don't know if this energy, if this is like a lightsaber, which would be fine for stabbing, but this is clearly a chopping, hacking weapon.
It's so mythic,
Right.
the way that they portray. They got the runes all over the blade
I
and
thought
the
it's
pommel.
very cool the way they pull it out, and the energy. So, you know, when a volcano erupts, there's often lightning, which looks super cool, just because of all that energy and static buildup. And so with this, I don't know what type of energy blade this is, but like say it was a real blade, this would be a devastate, like a sai. You know, I used
Almost
to
like a
collect sais and corn knives, and they're weird, or a
Almost
comma.
like this is almost on the level of like a claymore or something like that. It's just so
Well,
massive.
Yeah, I could say that, but claymores are definitely, you know, they have a point to them.
I guess those demons really got the point of this weapon.
Ooh. So warhammers are a thing. And actually, so like I've taught people how to fight with hammers before.
Really?
And if you know how to box, if you know basic boxing, you can fight with most tomahawks and most hammers. And I prefer a straight claw hammer to. I grew up also doing construction. My dad swung a S-wing straight claw hammer when I remember when I was old enough and strong enough to be able to swing that. It was a big rite of passage for me. Now my dad is not like a fight. He's the toughest dude I know, but he's not like a fighting guy. He's like a dairy farmer,
Yeah.
construction worker, tough, you know. But to fight with a hammer, you just choke up on it. If you can box, you can use that blunt part to knock people.
Oh, you're not even talking about
fuck out.
swinging it. You're talking about grabbing the
yeah.
head
So
part.
if now you can do the swinging and stuff, but that takes more skill. But if you know how to box, I don't have to teach you anything. Just choke up on that. You can spin it around and use the spike. You can use the shaft to block, or even you swing it out and trap.
Nice.
Yeah. So now this is much different. This is a huge hammer.
This is just Mr. Smashy Smash.
And so it's slower, but it's more devastating.
And it looks as if it's just a super attack.
Scare me. I'd like to see him try.
I love these guys. They're like, nope,
Oh,
you can,
oh,
by all
crap.
means, sir,
You're good.
after
No,
you.
That's fine.
He's got that cool Terminator kind of shoulder turn.
And I don't know, how does he look, this guy in the suit, look more muscular and intense than the other guys in the suit, you know? But he does. Oh, okay. He's like, hey, get out of the way. It's just, his hand is bigger than his shoulder.
We're looking at something maybe on either an aircraft-borne
Or a
weapon
ship.
or like a ship-borne kind of thing.
So in reality, I could see this being a railgun. I have a feeling it's not going to be.
Right.
But the reason, if you're going to shoot at a planet, you know, what you need is inertia. You know, like the asteroids that allegedly took out the dinosaurs didn't have to be, I mean, they were big, but compared to, but they were going so fast,
and that
right?
created the massive impact. Right?
This is it's built for a battleship, and he just like rips it out. I think that's just such a lovely touch.
Yeah.
It's just over the top, which is what most of these things are. I thought the game was cool. I don't know if my expertise is as applicable. They got the double barrel shotgun right, in my opinion. Even with the goofy grappling hook, it fits perfectly with the gameplay. It's super audacious, super graphic.
Nice.
I have a feeling people should really enjoy this. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
If you'd like to see more videos like this, go to Gamology's Facebook or YouTube page. Dang it, that was going so well. Have a good night and pleasant screams.